Hey, what's up, everybody? Long time no see. Welcome back, January 31st, 2025. It's been a couple weeks since I made a video. A lot of stuff has been going on. Um, we had a plane crash in Washington, D.C. yesterday that kind of reminded me of the 1996 TWA Flight 800 that crashed. Was it July 12th, 1996? But I just bring it up because, at the beginning of this year in 2025, on the first day, there was two or three plane crashes. We had that one where everybody died in Japan when they hit the concrete barrier at the end. And, it just kind of reminds me of like, hey, we got a fire. Let's turn on. Hey, the firefighter showed up. Let's go to the fire hydrant. Hey, there's no water. Let's go check the reservoir. There's no water. I mean, come on. I went through a couple, wildfires when I lived in California, and just being within a couple hundred miles, the smoke was just crazy. And then the 2022 one that came really close to my house, the whole town that I lived in got evacuated. It's pretty crazy times. I didn't have a vehicle at the time, so I had to go to the bus station up at State Line in Nevada. Waited for a school bus, got dropped off in Carson. That was fun. Um, but we have Kash Patel to be the head of the FBI. Hopefully he gets confirmed. RFK Jr. Is getting. The Democrats are yelling at RFK. Let the man speak, man. Like, stop interrupting him. All right, I want to hear what he has to say. Um, we talked about in a previous video that after World War II, so 1945 and beyond, they put fluoride in our water. They have genetically modified our food. They have put needless carbohydrates into all of our anything, and that's why the diabetic rate has gone up 550% since 1970. That's why we have a morbid obesity in children at like 6%. Adults, it's like, I don't even know, 20%. It's not good. Um, Sugar, I like it, but it's the most addictive drug on the planet, and nobody wants to talk about that. Okay? They put it in everything. Everything that you like that tastes good and that's cheap is sugar. And, that's what it breaks down to. And, but hopefully RFK will get confirmed and we can get our food back to not chemically modified or genetically modified. Thank you very much. No fluoride in the water anymore. Okay, we already got enough antidepressants in there. So even if you don't take them, if you drink the water from the tap, you're probably on it, like, every antidepressant known to man. Um, we kind of brought up the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about, which is since 2000, the drug overdose epidemic that no one wants to talk about, where every doctor was getting paid a lot of money to hand out highly addictive drugs, even if it was for like, oh, your back hurts, here you go. And, we see the repercussions of that 2 decades later. And nobody really wants to talk about it. We got more homeless people in America than there ever has been currently right now. There's more homeless people than even the Great Depression and every other recession that you ever heard of. So, and they let one of the 4 or 5 biggest companies buy single family homes and apartment buildings so they can jack up the rent, jack up your mortgage, and your pay is never going to catch up. So the rate of pay, even if you get a raise, it's not going to keep up with the inflation that's been going on under Bidenomics. So hopefully, we can kind of get we can get Trump and all these, all of his guys that he's handpicked. Hopefully, with the control of all 3, branches of the government, maybe they can get stuff done for you, me, and everybody else that ain't making $13.5 million a year. Selling cars that are overpriced, that they don't make anything like they used to. And, go buy a new TV and ask and see how long that'll last you. You know, um, you just look at the buying power of the U.S. dollar. It's not even half of what it once used to be. I think it's like 65% less buying power than you had in 1995 to 2025. Um, we say we're going to do all these things. We all have the best intentions, hopefully, and I just hope that some positive stuff happens because we as a society, as a civilization, we've been taking a lot of L's, a lot of losses. Not a lot of good things have come out of the last 4 or 5 years, and hopefully we can get our heads out of our A's and we can get back and try to come up with some solutions to some of our problems that we all share. And it's like, hey, I got one. Can we get the cost of fuel down so the price of food can go back down? These corporations should not be getting away with this jack hike all the time. Like it's insane. Since 2001, the Forbes 500 and all your big corporations, they're sitting on record profits year after year since 2001, claiming poverty. They can't pay American workers. They're they're not trained enough, and it will cost too much money. We can't give them full-time hours, or we can't give them any benefits. We took away the pensions. Now we have 401ks that we put tax laws on that we can I'll just tax you here, I'll tax you there. I didn't do any work. It's like, can anyone explain to me why a CEO gets paid 350,000 times more than the regular base associate at any corporation? I mean, I understand. I'm not saying they shouldn't get paid more money, but the the big gap there is just insanity to me. We're a guy that, what does he do? Does he do any actual work? Does he break a sweat? And he gets 35, 45 million, maybe even more with the stock options and everything else, where the regular guy, the regular common man, he can't even get a 40-hour work week with benefits, with 2 or 3 weeks off of vacation. I mean, how is America the only industrialized country in the entire world that doesn't have health care for their citizens? We work the most, we have the least amount of vacation time, and then everybody says, well, America's the land of the free. I'm like, yeah, sure. And, I'll just quote George Carlin, it's the American dream, because you'd have to be asleep to believe that. I look at the younger generations, and do they have a really good future where they can make really good money and buy a house and buy some land, or have a couple of businesses, maybe some money to pass down to their family, when it's their time to go? I, I just think that, when we go back to the early, the late 1800s, the early 1900s, that's where we really got to start digging deep. When we had the robber barons and the railroads owning everything, like, the wealth has always been in the hands of very few. And everybody else got the dinner scraps or the crumbs that fell off the big table. That's it. I mean, I wish I could show you the pie chart of what the rich people own compared to what we're fighting over. Every single one of us, 7.999 billion people, are fighting over less than 3% of all the money. Where the top families, I mean, they're not a lot of them, maybe 25, 30. I mean, at best. I mean, they're owning 97% of it, all the real estate, everything. So just more of the same. Give them bread and circuses. Let them eat cake. I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now. I just think that World War II, like the beginning of the end of the 1800s and the early 1900s, when we have we're on the cusp of the Great Depression, quote unquote, and we're spending more on buildings and monuments and all this stuff. And then, during World War I and all that, like it, we got to look into it, and one of my next videos will definitely be going into that. Um, but I just wanted to, kind of touch base with you all. We got up to 20 subscribers. I want to thank each and every one of you for hitting that button. You motivate me to keep doing it. And like I said, it's an echo chamber. I get it. The first 100 subs is really hard to get. And we just got to be consistent. And I haven't really been. So that's on me. And, you know, I did that video on who really won World War II. And I really think that's important. If you look at the people that were taken from Project Paperclip and put into high positions of power in the United States government, the British government, the Russian government, all the other allied countries that got to take these scientists and engineers that were so good that they had to, erase their war crimes and bring them over and put them in positions at the CIA and NASA and you name it. They I really do believe that once we realize that the people that we say lost World War II, in the end, I think they have taken over with the fascist states. When I remember, what was it, 2001, 2008, where we did all the bailouts for the corporations. It was on that day that America, like, I remember Jesse Ventura, we're the fascist states of the United States now because when you merge government with corporations, that's the definition of fascism. And so, and he wasn't wrong. And it can go back all the way to, before the or during the Civil War or after the Civil War, or when the Federal Reserve came out, the World War One, World War Two, the War of 18, all these things that they tell you one thing, but we weren't there. Nobody, your great grandma's not around to tell you, what exactly happened. And, just remember that. It only takes about 80 to 100 years to where you can rewrite history and there won't be anybody else left to debate you. And that's the powers that should not be, the Decepticons. They've been in power since before Jesus, after Jesus. I mean, it's not hard to see and not see, huh? Um, so just remember, hopefully RFK will get confirmed and we can make everybody healthy again. We can get the fluoride out of the water. We can get the food healthy, not with genetically modified, engineered eugenics B crap from the Nazis that you don't see, that have been running things since at least 1963 when they took out the JFK and all that jazz. Maybe we'll figure that out. We'll see if Trump keeps his promises about. It'll probably be a super redacted version of the JFK files that come out. But I mean, I guess anything is better than nothing. We might have to wait another 100 years to figure it out. Nobody will be around. And, I briefly touched on this in the last video. We had the Tuskegee experiments. We've had Operation Sea Spray in 1950 on San Francisco, where they were biological weapons on U.S. citizens. That was from the Navy. And then the Tuskegee was Army. And I mean, we've seen this constantly in the cycle of history over and over and over. And, think of when the radio first came out in 1918, that's when the Spanish flu hit. And my theory is that human beings were not used to a new frequency, as in radio waves, and everybody got sick from the frequencies, right? And then during COVID, don't forget, they rolled out 5G everywhere near you, everywhere, while we were locked down. So, and I believe that was part of the mRNA and the safe and effective, if very safe and effective, COVID vaccines, right? So we just got to hold these people feet to the coals and hopefully keep Trump and everybody else accountable. And yeah, like I said, sorry, long time no see. If you made it this long, I appreciate you. Hit that like button, share it for me. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Help me out. Until the next one, guys. Hopefully it'll be soon. rather than later. All right? Peace.